So I've got is the Logitech g920 for the Xbox One and PC. I've got it set up with the wheel, the pedals and the stick shift. A bit of a gorilla style setup, but it does work. Got about 20mm desk here, which is pretty much perfect for this. So you can have anything up to, I believe, about 40mm for this. These are pretty much set. It's roughly about 20mm. That is the maximum you're going to get if you put it on a desk like this. As you can see, I've got to take my desk drawer out and everything. So yeah, it's pretty good. The wheel's pretty sturdy. It's got rubber pads on it, so it doesn't move. But the only thing is that this is a bit glossy, so it can pull sometimes. I had my dad on it earlier, and he just completely pulled it off. I'm not so heavy with it. He managed to get this off, which is, I mean, it's pretty on there. The pedals themselves are pretty good. They don't have any movement whatsoever. There is a little catch on the bottom. I'll show you that. So there's this little grip on the bottom. Originally it's like that. Pull that down and you get these little grippers for your carpet which push it in. So as you're pushing this, it grips it better. And I've had no issues whatsoever with this moving. You've got all your basic buttons, you've got your paddle shifters, but I'm not using them now. The only thing that I don't like about it is they put left and right stick clicks on this, and they just don't work in absolutely anything. I've tried project cars, I've got Dirt Rally, I've got Forza. They don't seem to work on the menu inputs. So if you're putting your name in, for instance, I went to press the left click to put capital in, and it just did nothing. So I have no idea if these are broken or if they just don't work in general. It's something to bear in mind that you do lose 2 buttons for things like project cars where you do want the extra buttons. They just don't work, but hey, the rest of the world does. When you turn it on, it does a calibration, so it'll spin the other way, get its readings, then centre back up to the middle, which is really nice. This doesn't auto centre, so if you leave it, it'll stay in gear, which is obviously what you want, but it's something to bear in mind that you probably don't want to leave it in gear while you're not using it, just because of the tension on the strings, springs even. Pretty easy mounting system. On this it's just screws. On here you've got a sort of pull system and then it unscrews, then you lock it back into place. Really easy, to be honest. So let's get into some gameplay. I'm going to play Dirt here, Dirt Rally, and I'm absolutely terrible at this at the minute, just because it plays completely different to any other game. There's a lot of work with your shifting, so obviously there's a lot of work with the clutch. There's a lot of movement with the wheel because it does fire you, you're constantly doing this. So as you can see here, it's free flowing, and I'll try and show in a minute, once you get into the race, how stiff this just actually can get. So we want to put it into gear here, and I will show you a few things just with that rally.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 60 crest, right 6.
So you can see there the wheel is moving on its own, and you have to use the clutch, start the engine back up, and it stalls, which is pretty cool. Obviously you've come out of gear, so let's put it into third, say. Let's try to start the engine back up. So you do get a lot of clunk when you don't use. So that's pretty neat, obviously with the clutch. Let's just go for a race.
And left 5, into right 4 half long, into left 4 long, into right 3, into left 6 crest, and left 5 over crest, opens crest, tightens, right 4 don't cut, 100.
Just know there. The game, if you don't use a clutch, that's what happens in this, for instance. So you do need to make. Sounds horrible even in the game, it does in the car as well. But, so start.
Left 1 long, crest. Into right 3 long. continues at 80, small crest. Into right 6 long. Into left 6 long, over bump crest, 80. Right 5 half long. And left 4, 60.
So you can get shifting from
Keep
4th to
right
2nd
crest.
or 5th to 1st, for
Left long
instance.
continues for 100.
So it does work pretty cool. These still work.
Into right 6.
Should do.
Into keep
Next
left
time
over
it's
crest.
it.
Into right 6 over crest, jump maybe, 80. Left 6. Into right 5 times 2. Into left 5 continues for 80. Caution narrow, 60 crest. Right 6 long continues over crest, jump maybe, 80.
Yeah, like I said, I've only played this about 10 minutes with this, but it works really well. Gives you a good workout with everything. Like you see there, the car's stalled, so they put a lot of work into this game. For instance, this isn't a game review, but it's just nice with things like this that they do include stuff like that. So obviously, the engine's not running, so you obviously don't get that clunky gear. But if you start the engine up, stalled because I'm in first, I've let the clutch off. So, clutch is still in. Once we put into neutral, doesn't stall. So things like that are pretty nice. So we will move on to Forza next, which will be completely different. And I'm just going to do this in one long shot because I'm lazy with editing. So, Forza 6. Yeah, the one nice thing about this is obviously the vibration feedback. You can set the intensity in the game. Project Cars, for instance. You have to do a lot of settings in Project Cars to get it to work just as you want. Each car needs its own vibration settings. If you want more force feedback, you have to do it per car. Trying to find TV remotes, you can turn this down. Of course, it's holding the phone up, so we'll turn that down a bit. Okay. Forza, it's not too much setup per car, you set it up once and it's just every single car. The only thing that you have to be careful with is the steering lock. There is a setting for that per. It's not per car, it's the entire system, but we will want to set it per car. So if we just move over, I'll show you that one. So obviously you've got your layouts, blah 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 blah. And then you've obviously got all this, and there's your wheel rotation angle, which will determine how much rotation you need to do for a full rotation or your half rotations. That's obviously a per car thing. Racing car is going to be different to your road car. Your road car is going to be different to everything else, basically. Yes, that's one thing. Obviously, a 540. That seems to be a average, sort of a default easy setting to get into for everything, really. But it is one of them where you do want to set it per car. So we just go for a test drive in this. Let's go. It's a nice track. Here we are. Yeah, let's just do that one. This game does work a bit different. You don't stall, so you don't have to mess about with your clutch and getting it working again. Changing the gear, obviously changing it back into first, but you won't need to. So I've got clutch up, plunky into first, but clutch up and it doesn't stall. So that's one thing about this. Forza's a simulation game, but it's not a simulation game. It's not a full on sort of thing. So obviously, if you're changing with the clutch down, you can't hear anything. But so I'm going to break the gearbox. You get reverse by pushing, pull down. You've got your reverse gear, so it's a 6 plus reverse. Sort of wish it was a 7. But yeah, it was 50 quid. I didn't pay that, but it's about 50 quid brand new. So can see there's cars in this also pull. The wheel, so you do have to fight it. There isn't a one-to-one rotation either in this, which is a bit disappointing. Polish Cars does have that. Trying to fight the wheel. See, slam the brakes on, it judders. So the turbo tracks still playing actually. No speed whatsoever on this track, but so 4th to 2nd, same as that. So it's nice that you can do that. You don't have to shift around all the gears, or it doesn't. When you do stuff like that, everyone's going to 3rd. It is a proper gear stick. So you get an idea of that. Obviously, I'm turning quite a bit, right, turning it more. So it works pretty nice with Forza. Every single gameplay is different with this. It's quite weird to go from one game to the next, and you just have to adapt as it would be working with a car, I guess. So you're not going to go drive your Ford Focus and then go drive a Bugatti or something, or a Lamborghini, probably more realistic. It's not going to feel the same. It does feel different. Every car does feel different as well. One thing about the gear stick, it does feel fairly realistic. Obviously, checking for your neutral, as you do get in most cars, you know, check some idiot that hasn't left it in 1st or 3rd or something. The tension on the springs feels pretty nice. Obviously, it's not as long, so you don't feel like that, but the shifting the gears feel pretty good. It's probably a bit short with the going from there to there. That does feel a bit short. Obviously in the gear stick it's probably longer teeth, but it's not a problem with this, to be honest. Just because you do want this sort of shorter. It's really light as well. I mean, all you have to do is pretty much no force at all on it, does it? 5th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st. And going from say 1st to 6th, no problem. Getting to reverse does require a bit of force though. So let's do a quick race weekend. Yeah, that'll do. So your accelerator and your clutch, they do feel different compared to your brake. Your brake is really stiff in this. There's been mods that people do to take this little rubber bit out. I've sort of adapted to it. Obviously, you can calibrate in the games how much force you want. So if you just say that's 100, on the pedal it's only about 50%, but in the game you can set the 50 to 100, so you don't have to really dig into it to get that. Accelerator is pretty light, clutch is probably medium in between. So and you can see you can brake the engine pretty easy just by changing gears stupidly, which is pretty cool about electric cars. So I think it starts off at 3rd. I really don't know when it starts, just because it messes the gears up. So if I'm in neutral, you have to listen out and then work out where you are. So that's tree on the top as well. It's pretty nice. So we've got is a good time to show you this. You do get full rotation. Project Cars does things a little nicer. It's meant to be more of a realistic simulation now. There's certain things I don't like about it, but overall it's pretty nice. So obviously you can see the difference between really dragging your gears around and moving your clutch off and accelerator and doing the seesaw motion nicely. There's a really tell difference with the noise of the car. So that's one plus for this, I guess. So I was let's try here. And you can install this as well, so let's do that. Let's start. Maybe the R8 has automatic clutch. It could be. This game probably wouldn't surprise me to do something like that. First, just turn the engine off. Let's see to restart it. Window wipers, lights, ignition, engine. Then can drive off from the clutch. I'm going 5 miles an hour, that's just on the clutch. It's pretty cool for this game. So no clutch, engage it, start to pick a tiny bit of speed. And obviously that's something you want to set in your settings, the sensitivity of it, so there's no bite feel, but you get a feel for where it should be roughly. And if you drive in real life, it's an automatic thing that you just do. You don't really think about it, exactly, you don't need to feel it. You do feel it, but it's automatic pretty much. Really easy to spin out in this game. As you can see, the wheel compensates for the actual what the wheel's doing in real life, pretty much. So, don't take the control of it, the wheel will fight you.